How y'all doing? I speak really fast, I apologize. How are you this evening? One more time, with a little more noise. How are you this evening? There we go. See, now if you started every day like that, how friggin' awesome would that be? You're different, you're weird, and you're wonderful. What do you know about what's possible? That you have not been valuing, that if you would value it and let other people know it, would change the face of our planet.
Okay, because for me, I spent a lot of my life hiding it. How about you? Okay, how many of you have hidden what's different about you? Hidden what gives you more space, what makes you happier, what makes you different than other people, what's made you feel weird your entire life.
Why consciousness? Because it's the one thing that if we actually choose it has the capacity to create a totally different possibility for all of us, because it is the oneness that we are together. Energetic reality is what is the basis of physical reality. If you change the energetic reality, you can change the physical reality.
We're actually going to change some shit. Because, unfortunately, a lot of us have too much shit. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like when you wake up unhappy, that's shit. Okay? When you're like, oh my goodness, I love you so much, and they're like, I hate you, you're like, that's shit. You know what I mean? We have a lot of shit going on in our world. So what I'd like to do is help you change some of your shit into something that may be different for you, something that actually invites you to know, that the world you always hoped was possible actually can be, okay? I guess I have no idea why I'm crying right now. But I guess I have tears because I remember what it was like 22 years ago, where it felt like everything I desired, nobody else did. It felt like everything else I knew, nobody else did. I felt like I was the only one. And that fucking sucks. So number one, or number two, I guess number one was there are more possibilities. Number two, you're not alone. You're not alone in this world. Okay? How many of you are weird? Woo! Yeah, we should definitely celebrate that, okay? See, the original meaning of weird was of spirit, fate, or destiny, okay? So when you realize you're weird, it's like you realize you're different. You don't fit in the box. You don't fit in the norm. And this is not one of your typical conversations about, you're not normal, it's okay, go you, weirdo. Okay, I heard so many of those conversations and still got to a place where I was like, I'm out of here, okay? So this conversation is about your weirdness is actually your gift. Your weirdness is your difference. Your weirdness is something this world requires. Please do not shut it down. Please do not turn it off. Please do not turn it down, because that is the gift you actually bring to the world. So everything you've been doing to judge the weirdness of you, will you now destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And another question, what is it you have that you desire that nobody else seems to get right now? Now, some of you are in relationships, some of you are married, and this is not about a wrongness of your partner or somebody who's really close to you. Not at all, okay? Because one of the things I realized is when you have an awareness of what you desire, when you have an awareness of what's possible and you go for it, it's amazing how the people in your life go, wow, that sounds awesome, I want to contribute. But the thing is, what we won't do is we won't unhide it from ourselves, bring it to the surface so that it can be contributed to. So, what is the one biggest thing for you that you've been hiding? That if you let it out would be totally supported by everybody around you? Some of you are like, it wouldn't be supported, man. They're going to kill me. That's not this lifetime, dum-dum. That's other lifetimes, okay? What is the one biggest thing that you've been hiding? And why do I say that? Because we've been hiding so much of what is true for us. We've been hiding so much because it takes a lot of vulnerability to be present with other people and be what is true for you. Ooh. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so what I'm going for here is for you to get it, or for you to start to get it, for you to at least venture in that direction. To get to the sense of what is true for me that may not be for anybody else. And to start to allow yourself to acknowledge that about you. Because as you do, what occurs is the universe conspires to support you. People in your life will change. People in your life will come. People in your life will go. But if you know what's true for you and you head in that direction, you will never be stopped again. And we have a world that would like the people that are different to have the permission and the freedom to step up and be it and do it. Yes? Does that make sense? So, how much have you been hiding, you cutie pie? How much have you been hiding from you about you? I love this because some of you are looking at me like dogs watching television right now. This is so good. You're like, I don't know what's the right answer. Tell me the right answer. See, this is the beauty of it. There is no right answer, but the exploration of this is one of the most glorious explorations you will ever have, okay? The glorious exploration of what is true for me that nobody else knows. What is true for me that nobody else perceives? What is true for me that nobody else receives? And what if you recognize that that is a gift, you choosing to be it, you choosing to know it, you choosing to receive it, you choosing to enjoy it, you choosing to go on that journey. What if you recognize that the entire universe will support you on that journey? Now, here's the thing. I'm still alive 22 and a half years later. So I don't really have anything to lose, okay? Like, I could have been done 22 and a half years ago. I could have been like, bye-bye. And I thought I was. And I had a session that changed everything that I knew was possible. So I don't want anything from you. I really don't. I just would so love if you could have the beginnings tonight of that fire inside that you get when you find out what is actually true for you. What lights you up that may not light anybody else up. What makes you alive, what makes you thrive, what brings you on fire to such a degree that you love waking up in the morning. So, now to our clearing statement. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive that, to know that, to receive that, to be that, and to know that you will actually be supported by way more things in this world than you ever imagined. If you choose it, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds.
How many of you are resisting being totally happy? Like most of us. Isn't it weird? And you get asked a question like that and you realize the answer is yes. And you're like, what the hell am I doing? Wait a minute. Why am I doing that? Do you realize that if you were willing to be totally happy? And when I'm talking about happy, I'm not talking about what some people are like, oh my God, I'm so happy. You know, like this manic thing that's like crazy and off the wall. What I'm talking about is actually a joy that has a sense of peace to it. Where it's like, hey, I'm good. I'm pretty happy being alive. I'm kind of grateful for where I live. I'm kind of grateful for who I know. I'm kind of grateful for my life. You know, that kind of thing. Happiness and gratitude. So everywhere we are resisting being happy and grateful, which is actually cutting down and killing your money flows. Will you just run and create it, please? Yes. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Money follows joy. Money follows joy. Money follows joy. The more joy you're willing to have, the more money you can have with more ease. There was this guy in the level 2 and 3 class, and I did this $100 million exercise in a totally different way. And he raised his hand and he said, look, can we raise it, please? It's like more like $500 million. I said, well, that depends. Do you already have 100 million? And he went, yeah. I'm like, well, then you can fucking raise it. You go. And he proceeded to give people snippets over the next couple of days, which were just brilliant. Because here's somebody who's got this much money, nice guy, impeccably dressed, but just a nice guy, and wants to share this wisdom with people. And so he said, look, it's not about the money. He's like, it's about the happiness. It's like, if you're willing to be happy, you can have money. If you're not willing to be happy, you're never going to have money, because you'll always have to make it go away because you're not willing to have the happiness. And I went, thank you. I've been trying to say this to people for years and nobody listens to me, you know? But literally, it should be about the joy of it. It should be about the happiness of it. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to take 10% of every dollar that comes in and put it away as an honoring of you. Okay, and you've probably heard this in some other way sometime before, and if you haven't done it, do it. Seriously, please do it. Really, honestly, please do it. Please. I don't care what your financial situation is right now, it will change for the better if you do this. Okay, but you put it away as an honoring of you. You don't put it away because I said to and resent it every time you do it. You put it away and go, man, you know what? I'm honoring me. Why? Because what most of us have been taught to do, how many of you have been taught you need to pay your bills first? Okay, except you're like, yeah, but I don't have the money to do that. You know, you're like, damn. Okay, I was taught the same thing. And so what happens is when you pay your bills first, you're honoring your bills. What happens when you honor your bills? You get more bills. Great idea. Okay? So what happens is literally when you do the paying your bills first and when you do the not honoring of you, you end up creating a place in your life where you are last. So what you want to do is you actually want to pay yourself first. Put 10% of every dollar that comes in away and don't spend it. Let me ask you a question. If you actually use every one of these tools that you've been given today so far and every process that you've been given today so far, what will your life look like in the next 5 years? Just get the energy of that. No, what would not look like? Because that's a visual. What will your life be like in the next 5 years? Any different than it is today? Okay. If you choose not to use it, what will your life be like in the next 5 years? Same but different. Okay? So you got to realize that if you don't do anything different, you're going to have the same life in 5 years that you have today. Would you be willing to do something different? Okay, thank you. Now let's look at another thing, because this is one of the things I'd like you to have as a criteria for choice, and we'll go back to the 10% thing. But if you, as a result of choosing to come here today, what will your life be like in 5 years, energetically? What will your financial reality be like in 5 years, energetically, as a result of choosing to come here today? Now, if you had chosen not to come here today, what would your life look like in 5 years? What would your life be like in 5 years? And what would your financial reality be like in 5 years? Do you get that it's different? Okay, that is from you making the choice to be here, you're creating that change in your life. So once again, so you know how I had you lower your barriers before? What if you lowered them even more? Like to allow whatever that is in. I don't even know how to describe it. I just know that we have access to it. It's a capacity we have with us in our bodies that we don't often acknowledge, and you're like, what? And how could somebody make me move by I'm not even moving my hands, right? But you notice I just think about it and it's boom. Well, boom. Okay, we did not rehearse this, okay? I just want you to know, this was not rehearsed. However, she's on fire, yes. True story. So what did she ask for, though? She asked for something I don't even know, something that's totally undefined, something that is actually possible that I know should be available, but I can't put words to it, I can't quantify it. What if you were willing to ask for that in your life too? Now, I'm going to say this, because the way it happens is we'll ask for something like that, and if it doesn't happen tomorrow, we're like, oh, see, it doesn't fucking work. No, you got to get how big an ask that is, okay? Like, for example, if you've been depressed and you ask to be happy, that's a huge ask, because your entire life has been devoted to this. You're asking to change the course of the fucking Titanic after you pull it off the bottom of the ocean, okay? So you want to recognize that. So let's say you perceive some of this, and you're like, I would like that undefined thing that I don't even have words for, that I don't remember what she said, but I would like that, thank you very much. Okay, ask. The way creation works is ask and you shall receive. And what happens is you ask and you have no idea how it's going to show up, but the universe starts going into motion to make that happen. Now what you do is you just follow it. Anything that feels like that energy you asked for, do it. Okay? If two things are your choices, like 2 jobs or 2 houses or 2 places to live, and they feel more like that energy, do the one that feels more like that energy. Okay? And what will happen is, like I was saying before, like 5 years from now, you'll listen to this intro, because you get the audios of tonight. 5 years from now, you listen to this intro and go, oh my God. I asked for that. I'm being that. Oh my God, this is awesome. And that really is how it happens, because what happens is you ask for something, and you ask for that to become your reality, and it... Now, I've done this from across the room, okay? So where she can't hear it, doesn't know what's going on, and the energy still has the same effect. Because I'm probably a lot like you guys, like a little bit skeptical, maybe a lot skeptical, okay? It's like, I used to, and I always wanted to know, okay, is something really happening? Especially if I'm going to be talking to people about this and inviting them to experience it or inviting them to be able to do it themselves. It's like, I want to know something's actually happening. So I've done things where I'll do it across the room and move the energy, and the person goes, and I'm like, okay, apparently something's actually happening. Okay, cool. And that was before I was aware that something was happening, before I could actually sense it in my world, to where, it gets to a certain point where you just can't deny it anymore, no matter how weird it seems to other people. And it no longer seems weird to me, it seems weird to other people. For me, I'm like, this is actually the way the world ought to work. And what should happen, really, we have all these things in Access. We have body processes, we have verbal processing, which we did a lot tonight. We have energetic work like this that people step into and just go with. It's like, and the way the world should work is you have somebody who's having a problem that's actually willing to receive something, and you're like, hey, how can I help? And they're like, well, I got this thing, and I had this thing, and the number of times we have somebody who's like, oh, I got this thing, I got this back pain, or I got bit by a snake, or I blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And we'll be like, okay, cool. And within a few minutes, it's already starting to change. It's like you can change the energy of anything. And this is why I started out by telling you, you're an energetic being. You are an energetic being. You're a being of energy. You have the capacity to perceive energy. You have the capacity to know energy. You have the capacity to be energy. You have the capacity to receive energy. And you have the capacity to change energies. This is part of the great gift that you are. And when you change the energy, physical reality changes also. Physical reality is based on energetic reality. It's not the other way around. Although, if your point of view is that physical reality determines your energetic reality, then you turn it 180 degrees, and now you're totally fucked, and not in a good way. Everything that brought up right and wrong, good and bad, bottom, buck, all night, shorts, boys, and beyond.
What I'd like you to look at for a moment is, was there a moment when you were a kid, or maybe several, where you did something or were aware of something that was totally miraculous? Okay? Or created something. Like a friend of mine, His name is Chris. I just love this story because his family was going to go for a car ride. And he's like, no, I don't want to go. And that finally, after like an hour, or however long, they were like, dude, you got to go. We're leaving. We're going on this trip. And he's like, I don't want to go. And so finally, he took all these pillows with him in the car and put them under him and all around him. And guess what? They got in a car accident. And the vehicle rolled and rolled and rolled. And he knew, okay? But nobody could acknowledge that knowing. Well, nobody would, which is the world we live in, which is really weird. But it's changing thanks to you guys, where you can actually acknowledge a child's knowing and acknowledge they have awareness beyond right here and right now, okay? And maybe some of you adults do too. Maybe. Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. And what happened was nobody was injured in the car. Now, I asked Chris because he kept going back to that and asked him, hey, did you have something to do with creating that so nobody got seriously hurt? And he's like, what? I'm going to ask you again. Remember, what's true makes you lighter. Did you have something with creating it so nobody got seriously hurt? And he was like, oh my God, yes. And his whole universe lightened up. Okay? How many of you either were aware of something that you shouldn't have been aware of? Because let me give you two scenarios, okay? One of them is where you're aware of something that somebody else thinks you can't be aware of or shouldn't be aware of, and you get made wrong for it. Okay? Like one lady, she was aware of her aunt having cancer. And so she talked to her mom about it, and she didn't really even know what cancer was, but she talked to her mom about this thing that was black in her aunt's chest or something, liver, whatever it was. And then her aunt ended up dying of cancer, and her mom came to her and said, you killed her. Okay? So what would that do? Talk about an invalidation of mutant capacities. So how many of your capacities have been invalidated by people? Because what you were being was beyond what they considered real. But how much have you always been beyond what other people consider real? And you haven't really acknowledged it. Everything you've done to invalidate and disavow your capacities, and everywhere they've been disavowed and disacknowledged, and where have you been made wrong for having those capacities, or somebody said you can't have those capacities, except you did. Everything that is times a gazillion, will you just run and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Would you ask now to reawaken the magic and miraculousness of your awareness, of your capacities, and of your abilities beyond this reality? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
What is it that you would really like to change that you've decided is not changeable, that if it somehow changed, even by magic, would make your life a far more wonderful place? Everything that is. Everything that doesn't allow it to start to change right now. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now that's the clearing statement. What the heck? What does that mean? What are you talking about? Well, there's all kinds of parts to it. I can explain it if anybody wants me to. That's no problem. It'll take a little while, but I'm happy to do that if you want me to. But it's based on the idea that, like, the walls in this room, for example, they look solid, right? Except science tells us they're 99.9999999% space. But they look solid. So the reality we function from is that the wall is solid, so I can't walk through it. The reality science tells you is, it's a lot of space. What's your problem? Well, what if the limitations in your life are exactly the same way? What if they look so solid to you because you've learned to create them that way? But what if underneath it, there's actually a lot of space there that if you access that would allow them to open up and you could walk right through them? In personal experience, that's what I found is true. In 15 years of doing this, with people all around the world, I've seen that the things that we think are solid limitations, our relationship stuff, our body stuff, our lack of happiness, our depression, the monkey mind in our head, are changeable so fast it would make your head spin. It's just most people haven't had the tools. Which is like, what? You mean these things exist, these tools exist, but nobody has them? Uh-huh, exactly. Which is why I wrote the damn book, Being You, Changing the World. That's why I wrote it. Because when I needed it, the book was not there. I had to find the person, and then I had to use the tools, and then I had to use more tools, and then I had to use more tools, and then I had to use more tools, and then finally I was like at a place where I was like, wow, I'm really happy now. What happened? But I wanted people to have in one friggin' place the tools that they could use to change things that nobody else realizes are changeable. And this is the thing about this I'd like you to get. There is nothing in your life or in your body that is not changeable. Please, there's nothing in your life or your body that is not changeable. It may take a while. It may take some work on your part. It may take digging through some crap to find the gold nugget that's at the bottom of it. But there is nothing in your life or in your body that is not changeable. Nothing. Why do I say that? Because I see it every friggin' day. Every day I see it. It would be one thing if I saw it once a year. Oh, major change. Wow, that would be, oh, wow. I see it every day. I had a lady call me the other day with 104 temperature, which I don't know what that is in Celsius, but basically your head's about to burn off, okay? Your blood is boiling. She was in the hospital. What? 40? Okay. She had a temperature of 40 Celsius. Okay? That's not good. Just saying. Okay. And so what happened was, within 20 minutes, we changed it over the phone. I wasn't even in person with her, over the phone. I had another lady call me the other day. I have busy days, you would not believe. I had another lady call me the other day, and she was having what would have been termed a psychotic break, quote unquote, or I don't know how psychiatrists would put it. But basically, we got her through something where she was going into depression and she was going into sadness. And what is that? I can't think of it. Where you're kind of not exactly crazy, but you're overstressed. You're not exactly psychotic, like a psychotic, not exactly psychotic break, but yeah, like a mental breakdown. Thank you. A mental breakdown. Which sometimes, if you think about what your mind does to you, like it keeps you in a constant state of judgment, you wonder if a mental breakdown maybe is a good thing. But anyway, I digress. So, in 15 minutes, it was gone. It was done. Didn't exist anymore. Now, it was interesting because she was a patient of a friend who's a psychiatrist. And so I called the psychiatrist right after. I said, the person that you referred me to is totally cool now. Why don't you do whatever you would do to test that and let me know? And she calls me back and she's like, oh my God, I love this access stuff. I was like, tell me. She said, well, are you aware that right now, if all I had were psychiatry to rely on, she would be admitted to the mental hospital. She would be on a course of drugs, and she might not be out for months, or years. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you had her call me. Thank you very much. And we change it in 15 minutes, literally. Now, this is something I see on a daily basis, usually. Sometimes multiple times a day. Or I get emails from people who say, you know what, I use these tools with somebody and. So it's not just me that can do it. It's us. What this is, what these tools are about, is opening us to the capacities we've always had that we never acknowledged. It's opening us to the capacities we've had. See, you have far more capacities than you've ever thought. You have far more abilities than you've ever thought. In fact, I'm going to venture to say that most of what has been sticking you in your life in some way is where you have a capacity that you haven't acknowledged. Oh boy.
So, let's talk about a few aspects of these different things for a moment. Oh, it's warm. I feel like I haven't been warm in years. It's fucking like, Jesus. I live in Houston for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't live in Colorado. You know what I mean? Like, I live in Houston. Houston, hot. Not like 40-degree friggin' weather. My goodness. Sorry, just one more moment. That's the nice thing, is it warms all the way down. That's awesome. So, now if you notice this energy that I'm being as I'm walking over the stage and everything else, right? You notice it's a little like, it's got a high vibration to it. And when I say high vibration, I don't mean that metaphysical bullshit. I mean my molecules are fucking vibrating. Okay? It's not a metaphysical construct. It is a construct of you being here in this reality and having so much energy available, your body and you don't know what to do with it. Any of you have that? Did any of you ever have little twitches and stuff like that when you were a little kid? Me too. And even now, I know me too. Anybody bite their nails? You're like, I don't want to raise my hand, but yes. I know, me too. I'm like, people are like, well, your nails are nicely trimmed. I'm like, no, they're just evenly bitten now. Oh, thank you very much. Now, why do we do this? Because we got to do something. Why? Because when you have so much energy available, you don't know what the fuck to do, you have to do something. Some people turn to drugs as a way of trying to deal with it. And when they come off the drugs, they're like, oh, fuck, shit, it's too uncomfortable to be so aware of everybody else. Better have another drug. Right? Okay. For me, I bite my nails. I walk around a lot. I run around a lot. When I run, I don't just run. I run literally in circles. Like, I literally run like this when I run. I'm like, why? Because running straight is boring. Because my body has that much energy. Now, I'm talking to you about my body. What I'm really interested in is you acknowledging that it may be true for you too. Everything you've done to make you wrong, and everything you've done to cut down that energy so much that now you're kind of like, you're just running creatively. Right on, good, bad, fun, buck, all nine shirts, was events, because that's the other mark of an X-Men. They have a ton of energy that they don't know what the fuck to do with. Why? Because nobody's ever fucking shown us. Thank God I don't have kids. That I know of. No, kidding. Totally kidding. I hope I'm totally kidding. Thank God I don't have kids, but if I did, one of the things I would do is I would play energy with them from the moment they were out. Oh, actually, no, before they were out. From the moment I knew there was a little one in there, I'd be like, we are going to fuck up the world together, child. You're going to be the weirdest motherfucker the world's ever going to see, and when you walk through walls and disappear, it's going to be awesome. Everything that brought up. Right, wrong, good, bad, fun, buck, all nine shirts, was yours, because a lot of you are like, oh my God, I wish my mom and dad were like that. How did I choose these stupid fuckers as my family? Everything that is time, and if you're a parent here, I apologize. Everything that is times a godzillion, will you just run and create it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, fun, buck, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. Like, so, this thing about all that energy, see, you start to realize that what we've done is we have made ourselves wrong for everything about us that is different than the median part of this reality, okay? We've actually made ourselves different, excuse me, Wrong for everything that is not part of the lowest common denominator. And I mean everything. So if you were too happy, what did you do? Turn it down. If you had too much energy, what did you do? Turn it down. If you had too much brilliance, what did you do? Turn it down. If you thought too much, what did you do? Turn it down. What? See, once again, the X-Men are the mutation of the species to a higher order of function, meaning the people that have this are here to show everybody else what's actually possible. Okay? So let's talk about these: ADD, ADHD, OCD, and autism. So ADD is the ability to hold simultaneous realities in existence in your awareness. Okay? Whoa. You're like, well, shit, now I want to have it. All right. Everything that is times the God's way, and we destroy a greater place. Right, wrong, good and bad, bottom, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, it's the ability to hold simultaneous realities in existence. ADHD is the ability to hold simultaneous realities in existence and a capacity with your body to have a level of energy that goes beyond being stopped by this reality. So why do they have hyperactivity? Well, do you see me on stage right now? Okay, and even before I had more, right? I'm letting it sort of, go as I walk and talk, okay? But you notice how much I had when I was first starting and walking on stage? You notice the energy? It's like this. It's like, do you notice what I'm talking about? Okay, why? Because, like I said, I gave myself permission to be it when I walked in the room. Meaning, I was just being all of that energy. So if you in your life have had that much energy, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, and what also, see, ADHD, told you. What also happens is when you're in the presence of it, what happens is your body starts to vibrate too if you'll let it, if you have not killed that capacity. So everything you've done to kill your ADD and ADHD capacities, thinking it was a wrongness, so you could fit in with the reality of stupid fucking people, will you destroy and create it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, the interesting thing is when you go beyond the judgment of the ADD, ADHD, OCD, and autism that you have, what it starts to do is give you a sense of ease being you, but that doesn't mean you start judging everybody else. You just see them as they are, and you're like, okay, cool. Okay. There's this gift called allowance. Allowance is where everything somebody chooses is an interesting point of view, okay? Allowance is where you see somebody who doesn't have that and they're really slow and you're like, okay, cool. Because the thing is, we don't inherently judge. That's not our thing. Especially the X-Men of the world, they don't judge. Now, they're often made wrong for not judging. How much have you been made wrong for not judging? How much have you been made wrong because you do not discern enough, young lady? You do not judge your choices enough, young man. And if you judged more, you would be a better person. Fuck you. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, bottom, rock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond.
Our definition of consciousness is where everything exists and nothing is judged. Where everyone, in all of their greatness, in all of their eccentricities, in all of their weirdness, in all of their strangeness, in all of their joy can exist and no part of them is judged. Consciousness, where everything exists and nothing is judged. Can you imagine if we woke up tomorrow in a world that had no judgment in it? Can you imagine if you woke up tomorrow and when you went to look in the mirror, you know how you do that thing where you start with the litany of judgment on your body? Can you imagine if you didn't? How much happier would your sweet body be? A lot, yeah? You know how we do that thing? We're like, oh my God, I got too many wrinkles. Oh my God, I'm sagging, and oh my God, the gray, and oh my God, and it's like losing, and like these are like saggy, and like this is too big, and this is too small, and I mean, you know what I mean? You start doing that, and how does that create your life? Does it create your life, or does it destroy it? It destroys it, and it destroys your body, and our need to judge, and our need to separate. Our need to be unkind and our need to go to anger and our need to go to hatred is killing us, and it's killing our planet. And it's killing the possibilities for actually having a future. Now, if you happen to be fortunate enough to live here in Scandinavia, the paradise of the north, I mean, really, even though you have some dark months of the year where everybody gets depressed because of the sunlight issue, you know what I'm talking about, really, I mean, there's a standard of living here that is absolutely phenomenal. It's an amazing gift. And yet, how much of your life do you spend in gratitude for that and in gratitude for the gift you have given yourself in creating your life? And how much of it do you spend sad, depressed, complaining, judging, wondering what you're doing wrong or how you're being wrong? If imagine this changes starting tomorrow. The sadness goes away, the anger, the judgment, and the complaining and the need for it goes away, and instead you have a sense of gratitude from the moment you wake up, and you don't even know how it got there. And you're surprised, because you're like, wait a minute, I'm happy and grateful. Where did that come from? Have you ever noticed when you do that? On those rare mornings where you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm happy, I'm grateful. You're like, what's wrong? Where did that come from? What did I do to create this? What did I do to deserve this? And so you start looking over your life and you're like, I don't know that I did anything. Okay, then when's it going to go away? Do you know what I'm talking about? But think back over your life just a few times where you had this amazing gratitude and amazing happiness in your life and no judgment. See, this right there, what I'm talking about, this amazing gratitude and happiness for your life is what no judgment gives you. Why would we desire consciousness? It's because it's where everything we are can exist and nothing is judged. That space of no judgment is what creates the gratitude and the happiness and the joy and the awareness you can create anything you desire. To truly be a leader in a world of difference is to recognize that there is a different possibility. And it's a possibility that we together can create.
Hi, I'm Dain. Nice to meet you. Okay, yeah, pleasure to be with you. Let me ask you this. What 8 things would have to change in your life for you to be truly happy with your life? You're like, oh, dude. Whoa. What I'd like you to do at some point is write down those things, okay? And then what I'd like you to do is, do this if you want to, okay? I'm just giving you a possibility for something you could choose, okay? What 8 things would have to change in my life for me to actually truly be happy with my life and to love it, okay? And what I'd like you to do is, once you write down those 8 things, like, hey, this would have to change, or I'd like to have this, whatever those things are, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look at whose reality are you living in each of these areas, okay? Mom, dad, friend, teacher, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then how many presumptive realities do I have that are creating the way things are that I would like to be different, okay? Because once again, your point of view creates your reality. So once again, you want to go, okay, whose realities am I living here? And write down all, and get, so easy for me to say. And then go to all of the presumptive realities that I bought, like whose presumptive realities? Whose reality am I living here, okay? Because here's the thing, one of the other elements of being unstoppable, as it were, is you actually choosing according to what's true for you. When you do, your level of happiness increases, but that's also where things start to show up in ways you can't imagine. You don't have to figure out because you're actually so congruent with you that things show up, I want to say as if by magic, which can sound a little cheesy if you're not really into that sort of stuff, but that's actually how it starts to show up. When you get congruent with what's true for you, your life shows up as if by magic, okay? So one of the ways of getting there is by undoing the shit that you bought from everybody else. Does that make sense? Okay? So 8 things that would have to change for you to actually have the life you desire. And don't show anybody else this list, at least until you've already gone through it and done stuff with it, okay? Because what happens is if you show somebody else, you talk to them, their point of view will start to influence yours. Like they go, why do you want that? Why do you need that? You're like, that's the whole reason I'm writing this list, to get rid of you and your shit out of my head, okay? So then you go through and get a sense of the stuff that you bought, the stuff that you adopted as you went from tiny little baby to full-grown person, okay? And recognize that what we do is we're so aware that a huge amount of what we think is reality is things we bought from other people, okay? There's a tool we have in Access that can be very helpful. It's called Who Does This Belong To? And it's based on the idea that 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, 98% of your judgments, 98% of your points of view, 98% of your presumptive realities are things that you picked up from other people energetically, okay? Have you ever had the thing where you're going along, you're having a great day, everything is awesome, you might be driving down the road or walking down the street, and all of a sudden you get hit and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sad. Or, oh, I'm afraid, I'm really stressed out. But there was nothing that caused it? Have you ever had that? And then what do? You look back over your morning or whatever and you're like, oh, now I know what happened. Or you get angry or something. And what you do is you look back and you go, oh, this happened with my person I'm in a relationship with, that's causing this, or this happened with this. But one of the things we found is literally you will pick up on other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You'll pick up on other people's points of view without even realizing it because you're that energetically aware. So everything you've done to not acknowledge your energetic awareness, everything you've done not to recognize it when you walk into a room like this, you basically pick up on everybody's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, everybody's judgments. And it's a way of, if you don't acknowledge it, when you are in the middle of something like fear, sadness, hopelessness, oh my God, I can't do it, oh my God, I can't create the life I want, whatever, first thing you want to do is go, who does that belong to? And if it lightens up at all, let's say you're in the middle of, I'm so afraid, and you go, who does this belong to? If it lightens up at all, it's not yours. If you get less fearful, or if you're in the middle of sadness and you go, who does that belong to? And you get less sad, it's because it's not yours, you're picking it up, okay? This can be so friggin' helpful. We actually have an app, it's a free app. It's called, ready, wait for it, Who Does This Belong To? You're welcome. Yeah, okay. And what it does, it reminds you to ask this. Because if you'll do this, if you ask who does this belong to every thought, feeling, and emotion you have for 3 days, at the end of 3 days, you walk around like you're in a walking, talking meditation. Meaning you can walk into a room like this and have absolutely no thoughts in your head. You have no insecurity, you have no fear, because 99% of that stuff is stuff you pick up from other people, okay? And what you do is you pick it up and then you twist it into something that looks like yours, okay? So, how much of the thoughts, feeling, how much of the judgments that you've had just in the last day, or points of view about anything, were things you picked up from other people that aren't even yours? More than 20%, more than 30, more than 50, more than 50. Holy shit. Okay, so you could easily eliminate 50% just by asking who does this belong to. It actually is more like 98%, but you know, getting rid of 50% of the crap that goes on in your head, 50% of the monkey mind, really friggin' helpful. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive what's not yours, and that it's not yours, and actually have the willingness to let it go, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Have any of you ever meditated? I know, I used to do that too. That was fun. Because what would happen is, what would happen is, as soon as I got here, you know, and I'm ready to meditate, as soon as I cleared my mind, quote unquote, I would think things like, oh my God, I got to pick up the kids. I don't have kids. I'm like, what kids? Okay? And I didn't have this who does this belong to thing. And I'm like, I got to pick up the kids. Oh shit. And then I thought, do I have kids I don't know about? And then I would go, and here I am meditating. You know, I got to pick up the kids. Oh shit, do I have kids I don't know about? Oh my God, I wonder if one of my ex-girlfriends got pregnant. I didn't know. Oh my God. And this is me meditating, okay? I was good at it, okay? Once I got this thing of who does this belong to, I was like, oh my God, that totally explains it. I didn't realize you could pick up on other people's stuff. That was brand new to me. I was like, holy shit. So, what else is possible? Beautiful you. If you left here tonight with just a little inspiration, like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to start looking for what I would like as my life. How much more fun could that be? What else do you desire? Require? What else can I contribute to you guys? Is it fun being here? Are you enjoying it? Would you be willing to have a lot more of this in your life? Yes. Would you be willing to have a lot more of this as your life? Yes. Would you be willing to have a lot more of this outside of this room? Yes. Thank you. Times a gazillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 100. Pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyond. None of us knows how we're going to get there, okay? But if you ask, you can't not get there. Some of you are like, I will prove you wrong. I know, I get it. Don't worry about it. Okay? If you'll ask, good. And will you say yes, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyond. What I know is, once you ask and you actually go yes, and just get the sense of something that you would like more, you will create it. Whether that's using Access or something else, or whether that's just charting a different course where things start to work for you in a different way, you will create it. And I don't care whether it's Access or anything else. I would like you to follow you and your knowing always. Okay? I would just like you to have the easiest, most fun time possible on the journey. So when I'm going to run you through this particular energetic exercise, do it in your way. Don't try to do it however you think, I think you should. All you got to do is be here, hear it, and you'll do it. Okay? Oh my God, it's almost like all of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. Whew! Okay? Because we try to work so hard to do it right. Yeah, that's Access. That's not what Access is about. Okay? It's actually just about being present and asking. We should maybe call it Ask-cess. 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 Okay, I'm going to stop thinking now. Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get a sense of waking up tomorrow and being happy. Fuck yeah. Okay. And you're so happy that whatever judgment and stuff and all this stuff is like, it's not even there. You're like, oh, I'm vaguely aware that the world is going to hell, but I don't seem to be able to tap into it anymore. Okay? Get the sense of as you go through your day, you know how that judgment machine wants to start and that thinking machine and that thing about stuff and things and stuff and stuff and things and by the end of the day, you know that one? Gone. Okay? Get the sense of it's just no matter what, you can't seem to judge anything. Oh, get the sense of standing in front of the mirror naked. Okay? You're like, ah! But having no judgment. Looking at your body and going, oh my God, body, thank you. Wow, you have put up with me. You are miraculous. Thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't get that you're a gift. But I didn't get that I was a gift either. But from today, I'm choosing more of that. Not perfect yet, it's okay, but each day I'm going to choose some more. Choose more of liking me and liking you, okay? So get the sense of being standing there in front of the mirror naked and you don't have any judgment of your body, you just have gratitude.
And you can see where the judgment used to be, and you're like, oh, body, so sorry. What can we create together now? So get a sense of actually starting to like your body more over time. Getting the sense of starting to like you more over time. And the sense of the way it would be to actually start taking that time and space for you and realizing it doesn't create an exclusion. And let me tell you what my sister did when she started taking time and space for her. She became so much more of a contribution in her business, in her family, for her kids, for her husband. And she said, she's like, oh my God, I'm not tired anymore. It's like, I have been so tired for so long. Okay? So get the sense of that. Actually having the energy to actually like to be alive. And then having and getting to make the choices that are more in line with actually liking you. Get the sense of having no point of view about money and having ease somehow. Also, being able to have all the awareness you have of the world, but it doesn't bring you down at all. You're like, wow, look at the world. What can I create? What can I choose? What can I be? What can I do? What can I contribute? What can we be and what can I be that will change this? See, because collectively, people, whoever and whatever is like behind this reality and all the stuff of this reality, the politics and the war and all that stuff, they don't want you to know that, and I don't say this as a conspiracy theory. All I'm saying is that we together have the power to change it with what we choose to be. Could you imagine right now if, let's say 50, 60% of the population chose to be happy and do no more judgment and actually like themselves and realize they're unstoppable? Would that change the world? Right? Okay, so guess what? Guess who it starts with? You weirdos. Yay. And not from, hey, hi, Dr. Dain Heer, pleasure to meet you. I just want you to know that you are amazing and phenomenal. And I would like to enlist you in helping me change the world. Thank you very much. Can you please sign up and come to our Monday meeting? Thank you. Okay. Praise be, Lord Jesus. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. It doesn't occur that way. It occurs by you being a space. And then other people get nurtured by that space and realize they too can be nurtured by space and be a nurturing space. That's how it occurs. What the fuck? Plus, it's not linear. It is, the way consciousness works is so not linear, it's beyond exponential. It's actually miraculous.